And they are the scenes repeated several times a day right here in Milwaukee. The flashing lights of police squad cars, the crime tape, and the tears of anguish from loved ones of deadly violence here in Milwaukee.
And this comes as the city is closing in on yet a third straight year of record high homicides. The most recent victim, a man found shot and killed near 17th and Clark just after noon today. Police are investigating and telling us that they're looking for an unknown suspect.
And that follows another violent weekend in Milwaukee, where more than a dozen people were shot and another 2 stabbed.
So tonight, Ben Jordan goes one-on-one with the Office of Violence Prevention's new director to learn his strategies to reduce crime.
I know and understand the city.
With nearly 2 decades of experience as an alderman,
I understand how the city operates.
Ashanti Hamilton says he was appointed as the director of the Office of Violence Prevention to be an agent for change.
Our measurement shouldn't be the rise and fall of crime statistics.
At a time when Milwaukee is being crippled with crime.
Our measurement should be whether or not we are serving the people who live in the different communities and whether or not they see their community as safer.
Milwaukee police say 16 people have been shot in the city, 2 of whom were teenagers, 16-year-old and a 17-year-old. Yeah. What can the Office of Violence Prevention be doing better to help protect our children?
We have to make a commitment to go further upstream. I think there's a lot of work that we can do to avoid and give families and communities more support before they have to deal with a situation like this. And I think that's the whole goal of looking at this from a public health perspective, is being able to gather the information that's necessary for us to be able to be effective in identifying and predicting where these type of events are happening.
Ashanti is entering his 3rd week as the OVP director. What have you learned in that short amount of time about how OVP operates?
Yeah, I mean, this is very difficult work. And the one thing that I've recognized is that the people who are on the front lines doing this work really care about it.
Ashanti says he has 2 goals for the Office of Violence Prevention. First, to get out ahead of crime and prevent it from happening. And if that doesn't happen, help the victims and their families recover from the trauma. What short-term solutions do you bring to the table to make the Office of Violence Prevention more effective?
Well, the first thing is we're going to have to bring on staff. And so with more hands, we can reach more communities and we can implement more programs.
But Ashanti knows he's expected to do much more than bolster his staff from 4 to 12 by the end of the year. Some alders tell me they aren't sure the Office of Violence Prevention is actually able to prevent violence under its current structure. They wonder if the money may be better spent elsewhere, perhaps adding those dollars to the police departments, or trying to cut down poverty with 1 in 4 Milwaukee residents living in poverty. What is your response to that they are skeptical of the work this office is doing?
They have a reason to be skeptical, and we should embrace the skepticism. I would like to provide them with the evidence that's necessary to show the impact of this work. And I want to be honest with them about the limitations of it, unless it's invested in properly.
The office has a budget of $5.6 million this year. $4.2 million of that is going to outside organizations that actually do the prevention work. Ashanti says that's how the office was designed to operate, and he doesn't plan on changing that.
One of the goals of this office is to convene and guide our partners in the direction of a public health response to violence in our community. We are not primarily a service provider as an office. What we're doing is identifying the service providers that exist in our community that can best deliver the types of things that we want to see done.
In fact, Ashanti wants to get more organizations involved to put an extreme focus on reducing the number of victims and culprits of violence. Are you going to bring more accountability to those partnerships?
That is my goal. I think that's one of the reasons why both the administration and the council supported this move is because they do want to see more accountability. They want somebody here that understands what they're looking for. And it is my goal to be able to deliver to them, to deliver that.
Reporting in Milwaukee, Ben Jordan, TMJ4 News.
So crime in Milwaukee, a major issue in the November election. The most recent Marquette Law School poll surveyed registered Milwaukee voters and found that 93% of them are at least somewhat concerned about crime. Most are very concerned. And only slightly more than half of those registered voters say that they feel safe just going about their daily activities.